Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people, and welcome back to Pine Pass, where today we might get to this area. I did make one little change, well, a couple little changes. I went ahead and brought this collector all the way down. That's probably going to, somewhere up there, get split off and maybe make this a pedestrian road leading up to here. I also bumped the metro station over just a little bit and extended the tracks. It was just a tiny little distance. It was here. Now it's there. And then I've made it so that this side of our little road is the same there, just to kind of give us a guideline. But that is not where we're going to be building to start with. To start, we're going to be coming back over here and taking a look at our elevations. Having the railroad right here kind of limits the ability to get any closer out to the highway. We can't go under there. We could go under there, but then I think that'd be our only space. And I don't want to really redo the railroad as it is. I think I'm kind of good with having a little bit of forest separating the highway from the town, but I would like to expand out over this direction. We've got a nice flat bit of land here. We could maybe do some on this side of the highway, but what I'm thinking instead is having just some sort of smaller road that comes up and around and then back down into here, and maybe even grading some of this out. Let's look and see what that'll look like if we grade that. So here we're at 48.81. Over here we're at 61. So not too terribly different, but what I'm worried about is if we get too close to the water, that we'll get some flooding. Let's see what we can do right along the water's edge here and see if this even makes sense or not. This is the side that I'm worried about, flooding right here. Gonna stop it right there and be very careful right around this line that I'm leaving most of the riverbank intact, because again, I don't want this water coming up here. I think we're gonna be okay just looking at it here. Obviously that'll never do right by the railroad tracks. We'll fix that in a minute, but I wanted to carve out a bit more area than we're actually going to use, and then we can smooth it out. And that gets us a bit of buildable space over here by the water's edge, and it looks like we're going to be okay with the shoreline. And then I want to come in here and just spread this back out. I'm going to bring the brush strength down just a little bit. Just give it some light, gentle taps. Again, being very careful around the shore. Or the riverbanks, whatever you want to call it. I keep calling it the shore. There, I think that should be fine. Yeah, that looks all right. Can't really tell that we did anything, and that's kind of the goal. So, the only issue I can foresee with having a little neighborhood right in here is that we've only got this collector to connect off of. So we could potentially run into some problems. Hopefully not, though. I am going to back it off a little bit farther than we have with everything else. Let's bring it back. Yeah, I'm good with 600. And then we will just see what we can get. We're not going to get a whole lot of zoning in here. So maybe 600 wasn't the ideal. Though I could then come up like this and have some homes there. And we could bring that out and just have it stop. That could work. And that still gives us some separation from the collector. We can do pedestrian paths through there. We will want to connect this, though, in more than... I would think we would want 2 to 3 connections into this neighborhood. Let's see if we do another connection here. Which that is not at all a straight line. So then we could bring that out, bring this in. This might be the end of the neighborhood right here, though. Because, again, I don't really want to go under the tracks. We could go under the tracks, but I don't really see the need in doing it. What if, can we get one more here and then just follow the tracks around over here? Actually, let's turn those back on for the time being. Let's go right here. Bring this, you have to be a lot closer. Bring this around like that, and then use our curved road tool. Make a connection there, and then make a connection there. Yeah, that gets us a little space down there. Maybe we could put a park in or something. I mean, this isn't, like I said, it's not a ton of space, but it is better than nothing. And I want to try to extend it a little bit down this way, simply because I want to make a connection back here. But I don't think we're going to get an actual block out of this for zoning. We can zone some stuff back here, but not a lot. Instead, we're going to, that's just going to have to curve coming straight out of there. It's okay. I'm all right with that. That way, there is a way to get from here over to here without having to go out on the collector. And we kind of like delineate where this town starts by having the wider sidewalks here. That was completely intentional. I want this to be more highway. In fact, I may formalize that by making it a highway. I think that's probably not a bad idea, actually. I lost my lane markings by doing that, but I'm okay with that. The location may not be the most ideal, but in exchange, the housing doesn't cost as much. So did we put education in over here? We put it in way over there, and we have a high school way over there. The coverage is abysmal. So we could probably do with like another set of schools over here, as much as I really don't want to keep spamming in schools. I think it's kind of necessary. So let's do a little services corner right here. So we've got healthcare that goes over to there. So if I do healthcare here, yep, that's good. And then we want some fire coverage. Let's do that one. And then for the police station, we'll do that one. And let's get a post office for this neighborhood. That should look lovely right there on that corner. And they're all complaining about heating, and rightfully so. So let's get that taken care of real fast here. That works. So we're just going to leave this area wooded. We're not going to continue anything out this way. We could bring like a pedestrian path over here so people could walk all that way if they wanted to. I suppose that's a thing, maybe, but I don't think there's a pedestrian cross. I don't think there's crosswalk here, is there? I mean, there is. Can we make that a crosswalk? Forget how to hide crosswalk mods required. Okay, don't have that. So, I mean, it thinks there's a crosswalk there. I don't know if there actually will be or not, but we can see about running a path over to there. And if people walk on it, fine. If not, oh well. So I want that to be kind of here, but then I want it to quickly get away from the road so people aren't just walking right next to a very busy highway. And then we're going to try to get that to come right there. Just a cut through, but they can get some pedestrian connectivity. Cool, so let's get some zoning into this area. Want a bit of commercial down here in this area. I think I will make all of that commercial for certain. And then I think there's probably some merit in having a bit more coming off each side. That works. And then I just realized we don't have any parks or anything over here. So we're going to do like we always do and throw in a lovely snowman park by the elementary school, because that just works well. And then we'll give the high school curling rink and for their curling team that they love. And then over here, excuse me, over here in this area, I'm still struggling with my voice and allergies and all that. It doesn't help that neighbors keep burning a lot of their waste. Let's get in a sledding hill and a skating rink if we can fit it. Yeah, let's move this over just a tad if we can. There we go. And that's just a nice little public area to come do things. I don't like that this is facing the direction it is, so maybe we swap these two. Let's put you there for now. I does not want to go over there. We'll put it. Wow, it really doesn't want to cooperate with us. Just move it. There you go. Now you're where I want you to be. Cool. Just a little park. We'll put a little path through here. Just dirt, I think. We'll be fine. We'll turn off all my substitutes. They're already off. Cool. And then we're just going to bring in a path right there. And then we're going to branch off and try to sneak through these two. And then bring that down right there. Cool. That's perfect. And that'll give them some parks. And then we're just going to do pretty dense on the residential again. I'm not going to zone anything on that backside. That's just going to be reserved. Well, not reserved, but not utilized. We'll go all the way to there, and then we will go ahead and bring some more down there as I hear the annoying dog bark. Yes, not my dog. She belongs to the parental unit. So we're going to kill zoning on our collector here so that I can get a little bit more zoning in. Hey, that's even... I thought I did this once. Maybe when I upgraded the road to something else, it took it out. So there we go. We can get some slightly bigger buildings right there even. So see ya. Sorry. I want bigger buildings. Maybe we should even go ahead and increase the density up. Over here? Actually, no, I'm fine with, because those are all on a high-rise band, so I'm fine with these being lower density. And we'll do a little bit there, though I'm feeling that's maybe a little close to the collector. Maybe just a little bit. And then let's get just a couple of pedestrian connections in here. Let's just do them at where there's crosswalks. One there, and then that's a highway, so there's no point in having that there. Though what we could do is bring it all along here, or we could just connect this. Yeah, that's the stuff right there. Well, that doesn't want to. There we go, and then we can connect this as well. Maybe let's turn off our guidelines because they're causing us issue. And then down here we can do the same thing. And then let's grab these and bump them over just a little bit so they're actually connecting both of these streets. Got these blobby sidewalks. Who's excited for Cities Skylines 2 and no more blobby sidewalks? Yep, there goes the dog again. Not a whole lot I can do about it. She just barks a lot. She sees her shadow and barks. It's kind of scary. But, yeah. Well, in this case, she was actually barking at somebody ringing the doorbell. They were at the wrong house. So cool. We are knocking out the residential demand. I am going to put a little bit more commercial right here, but first I'm gonna do the right number of squares. Let's do a little bit more commercial right there. That looks lovely. And then I'm gonna let this run for just a moment, get this area filled in, and then we're gonna move over to here and see what we can do. And while we're waiting for this to fill in, I think there is the opportunity to put a bus line in here. We're going to bring them over right to the train station. And then we're just going to run like every other block. And then we will come back around here to bring it back and just stop on the other side of the road. I was noticing a lot of pedestrians walking through here. I mean, this is a cold climate. You would want some mass transit to get out of the cold if you were commuting. Let's get some different line colors on some of these so that I can differentiate them visually a little bit easier. There we go. Yeah, I think that, yeah, we're already seeing some people starting to queue up for that. It says 7 buses. I doubt we'll need that many, but I'll leave it alone for now. There is a ton of pedestrian activity over here, and a lot of people were just walking all the way over to there. So I think this is a good call. One other thing that I think might be beneficial in this area, simply because we're so far removed from everything else, and I think we've got the perfect spot to hide it, would be another snow dump. We're gonna have it just right behind the train station. I don't know that it's gonna fit there though, because if I remember right, they're very large. Where are they? Oh, it will fit there. Oh, and I left zoning off though, so of course it's not gonna work. There we go. It's one problem with that being built in is that it doesn't reset. I guess though, there's just as much of an argument to be made for it not resetting as there is having it reset, so whatever, it's fine. It works. So then I want to come back into here. I want to try to get a curve to come back here, but I don't know. Yeah, that pillar right there is just in the way. I think I'm okay with moving this pillar over just a skosh. That should clear it. Not really, so we're going to anarchy it instead. We're going to cheat, is basically what I just said. And then I want this to come off and then just do a nice little curve right there. That hides that behind the rail. You don't really see it from town. I mean, kind of, sort of, but we're going to wind up detailing and adding more trees there, so it'll be fine. And I think we definitely need some more snow removal facilities to help cover this side of town, because the ones that we have are the ones that we built a long time ago that the state required as part of the annexation of some of our land, and the state required this big facility here along with their maintenance depot. Yeah, so we had this. This was our original snowed up, and I honestly thought it would be enough, but it wasn't. I was naive. So we added in a secondary facility over here, just 2. And that seems to be keeping this area fairly clear. Every once in a while, we'll get there we have a couple of roads. But I think, yeah, that's not even really, no, that's a road. It looked like a pedestrian road at first, but no, that's actually a road. So we get a few, but for the most part, they're keeping up. They're not getting full, but all the plows are staying in use, which is good. I still don't know what we're going to do with that area. Would love to hear a comment to suggest something. But yeah, I think having these over here, very beneficial. Why are you complaining about noise? Ooh. Wow, that is unbelievably loud right there. Holy cow. Is it? It's these. Wow, I didn't realize those put out that much noise. Okay, so be it. We will just remove a bit of residential here. I think that should be enough. And then we will replace it, since we do have some commercial demand. We'll go low density commercial and just a few more offices, and that should help a bit. And I think if we put in some more trees, that might help as well. Ooh, that's a big old brush. Was not expecting that. But yeah, I think if we just kind of fill this area densely with some trees, it will be a lot better. So I'm going to do that real quick and see if that doesn't help the noise at all. So there we go. Jumpy camera notwithstanding. It didn't really help too terribly much, but we do have the buffer there at least, so we won't have the residential complaining as much. So cool. This area is starting to fill out nicely. Doesn't look like we have any lots remaining. I would like to now come through and just add a fence to give them a bit of separation. And let's just use our forestry fence right here and turn my snap twos back on. Just grid. We're just going to run that right. In fact, we're going to run it all the way down to there. And then we will resume that there. Is that too close to the intersection? No. Just want to make sure we weren't going to be blocking visibility. And then we're going to run it down through here and stop it. Ooh, we have a path. We'll probably stop it at that path, actually. And that'll help just to create a little bit of separation, and then we can do some trees alongside this area as well. And I think we may just do those with the prop line tool. I don't normally use the prop line tool, but I think in this particular instance, that's exactly what you would see. Is a developer had just come in and planted a row of trees. Yeah, that works. And we'll extend it right to there. And now that gives just that much more separation. I mean, yeah, these are taller trees, so you can still kind of see through, but it does make that neighborhood feel a bit more secluded and a bit more set off from this 4-lane highway that is very, very busy and probably creates a good deal of noise. In some places, yeah, it creates quite a bit of noise. We have a lot of noise right here as well, and right there from the commercial and from the trains. So not the quietest neighborhood, but you do have proximity to what will eventually be some really nice high-paying jobs out here in the tourism industry. So, you know, there's trade-offs to be had. What I want to do now is look and see where we can bring a road off into what is essentially going to be a cul-de-sac, unless I build a bridge up and over. Which I might, but I want to bring a road off here. Not going to zone anything up in this area. It's all going to be back here. So this is going to be just the road that brings you into this area. So maybe we should just focus on laying all of this out first. So yeah, let's do that. I think that's a better idea. I'm going to stick with just a basic road for now. And I want to take advantage of the river views here. I think, let's see, which side has the better view here? So that side, you kind of see a lot of the town and some islands. This side is a little more secluded. Okay, so we will run the road right out this way, like that. And then we will kind of not exactly follow this riverbed here, riverbanks here. And we'll go that way. And we'll come out with one right here. Just trying to maximize some areas that we can have some homes that are right on the water. And I think I want to bring these a little farther away so that we can actually have some folks with backyards that are right on the river. I think that would be a nice thing. I don't know about you. I like living near water. Comes with its own set of challenges, but I just like and miss greatly being able to look out my door and just seeing a giant body of water. When I lived near Table Rock Lake for a while, I had that view, and I adored it. Absolutely adored it. So we're going to turn on road guidelines and make some curves here, and we'll come out of this view in a minute, don't worry. This is going to be a complicated intersection right here. So I think what we'll do is bring that down there and then bring this up into here. Would like this to be at a 90 though. There we go. And then here, same thing. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get that in. So instead, let's bring this out a little bit more. And then we can bring this up and around. And this will just be a cul-de-sac back here. Cool. So that gets us a basic little neighborhood. We could even go ahead and extend this out just a little bit more and lose our zoning on the other side. Yeah, I don't want to get too terribly close to the highway. So that's where everything would be on the water's edge. And then we just need some neighborhoods back here. But I really don't want just a grid back here. I want something a little bit, maybe bigger lots. I could see this being some more upscale, private, you know, maybe even a gated community back here, given where it is and the river views that they have. So let's parallel a train briefly here. Run that to about there, and then switch back to our freeform tool. Bring this back in and around, and then down, and then I think I can get a curve out of this. That'll be all right. That works. That works fine. And this could be the road that kind of starts bringing people in. Let's figure out where that's going to come in. I'd kind of like to go right about here with that. And we'll bring it out just a little bit before we turn. I'm trying to eyeball where we'll be able to get under the railroad without having to use anarchy. And that is right there. So that would mean we need to get this to come down to here. So let's see how we can make that happen at a nice 90. That'll be good right there. And not exactly 90 degrees there, but it works. And then that can come down and around this way. Again, we just want to leave a little space here by the highway. We don't want these houses to be right up on the highway. So we're just going to follow that around, go straight for just a bit here. And it's not paralleling that road, and I'm totally okay with that. And then we'll bring this down and around like here, and we are going to have to bump away from this hill just a bit in order to get a decent curve out of that. I want to stay in this, though, because I want to make sure I'm not doing anything to upset any of the existing terrain. Cool. So that gets us our basic loop, but we would want to have more than that out here. We would probably want a couple of roads that cut through. I'm thinking maybe one like there and probably another one right about here. I thought that would be straight, but it's not. There we go. And then from here, we can just kind of wander around with some stuff. Like right here, we could bring in a street, leaving some space. And we could either just make this a cul-de-sac, but I think I'd rather it be connected. I think that would be preferable. So we'll bring that in like that, and then maybe up like that as well. No, I don't think we need this one. I think that's enough. And then maybe we just kind of use this middle bit here, though we could probably get two in back here and still have some decent space. That gets a little close, though. What if we bring that back just one? We can have a little bit of density off the middle there, but then kind of go back to not as much density over here. So freeform tool to kind of follow in through here, and do I want to bring it out with one of these roads? No, let's go in the middle here. So we'll go there, and then I want to use my curved road tool to make my connection there. And that'll work. And then here what I'm thinking is this one can come over here and this one can come down this way. Just like, what do you mean distance too short? There, now you're happy. And then this one can come down right over here. Leaves a big open space back there, but that's okay. We don't have to zone everything that's back here. And this is going to be, I'm pretty sure, just 100% residential. We could maybe do a little commercial up here on the edge, but I don't think we need to. Let's get some water pipes under here. I'm going to turn off all the snap twos, because this is all really curvy, and there's no reason to go back and forth between the two when I can just do it by hand. So I'll get these water pipes laid, and then we will start looking at some zoning and amenities out here. And there we go. We have all of our roads in, all of our utilities in. But there's probably going to be the need. Yeah, we're going to need emergency services out here. But even with that, we're still going to struggle to get coverage in this area. Even with the larger ones, we would still struggle to get coverage. So we may have to do 2 of each. But that could be something that we could utilize, like the area out here by the highway for. We could put these back here, and then we could also, take some of this space that's a little closer to the railroad for back here. In fact, I think what I want to do back here is bring this road out just a skosh more. Just trying to snap twos back on. Maybe not ideal for the emergency vehicles to have to do the turnaround, but they're just going in and out of their own driveways, so it should be all right. So that gets good coverage over to there, and then yeah, if we did another one back here, that could be good. And I think maybe there's even, I said I wasn't going to do any commercial over here, but I think we could have just a small little downtown back here. I'm going to do kind of the same thing. And this can also be where we get healthcare in back here. So we'll go fire, and we'll go police there. And then I want another post office, because I love post offices. They're like one of my favorite things in the world. Like, not even exaggerating. And then what could we do? That's really large. The general hospital is still pretty big, but it could look like a county hospital out here. But it's so big for the area. Yeah, we're going to have to go with just a clinic. Don't really have a choice, I don't think. Do we need schools out here? Normally, in a gated community, the kids are bused or driven to school, so I don't think we're going to do that. Speaking of buses, let's check in on the one we built earlier. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, that's way more than I expected. However, we have 7 buses. So 210 would mean we need 30 more capacity per bus. Up here a little bit more. So what we could do is come in with maybe this one and let that run through. I'm gonna let this go for a minute though. I kind of want to see exactly what happens on that before we move on. And while we wait on that, I am gonna go ahead and construct one more bus route. We're gonna again try to get close to our train station, but we could really use a bus station over here, but I'm not gonna build one. We want a route that kind of just circulates back in over here. Just going to stick to these outer roads. We may actually wind up doing 2 bus lines out here. Because, well, I could loop it back, though. Yeah, we could loop it back on itself right here. So let's make that stop here. We'll stop there, and then we'll come over here to this side, and then we can just loop back around. Yeah, that works. That works fine. That way you can catch the bus going either direction. That's really good coverage for that area as well. And then we'll bring it right back in there. And let's get a good color for this one. We don't have a red line over here, so we'll make this one red. Nobody's going to be riding that bus just yet, but because nobody lives out there yet. But at least it's there. We are still waiting for the buses to get over here, and I want to let that happen before I move on. So just going to let it run, and we'll be back with you in just a moment. So it's improving. I think that as the buses continue to unbunch, we'll stop seeing this passing up because we'll get things spread out a little bit more. Right now, this station is a little full, and that station's a little full, and then this, or not station, but stop. And then this stop usually doesn't get anybody picked up at all because this one fills them up. But as we see these come through and start knocking that out, like 2 more buses coming through, and that'll be cleared out, and then we can start getting people from there. And I think the same thing will happen down here. So we're just going to leave it alone, and we're going to get some zoning in this area. But first, parks. I think we need some parks in through here, and let's do a lovely fire pit right there. And can we get a cross-country skiing park in this area? Actually, let's do cross-country skiing, maybe? Do you want that in your backyard? I mean, why not? I mean, this is a winter town. That seems like a really cool amenity to have in a winter town. Just walk down the street, get some skiing in the morning. Yeah, let's do it. I miss skiing so much. Over here, where we're going to have more of a slightly downtown area, we'll do a skating rink. I really don't think we're going to do schools over here, though. Mainly because we have so much capacity, and we're already busing people over to the area where there is a school. So I think it'll be just fine. What other winter parks do we have here? There we go. Ooh, can I get one of these fishing piers in back here? Is that close enough to the road? Probably not. Oh, it is. Perfect. And that's not the side we're zoning on, right? No, that's the side we're zoning on. Doesn't have power, though. I wonder if we can just scooch it up a little bit closer and then bring it down to the height of that. Yeah, now it has power. Cool. That'll work. And then we have ice hockey rinks, maybe. We could do a snowmobile track, but that's pretty noisy. I don't think you'd want that in your neighborhood. Skiing, not so bad. But the ice hockey rink could be kind of cool to have in here somewhere. I know my friend Destin would approve. Maybe like right there, go for a game of ice hockey with your friends. I would like to maybe do some of these parks, but at the same time, they don't really look the best. I mean, we could use Bob on that, I suppose. We'll leave it. We'll roll with it. In fact, we can use that to our advantage, I think. Turn all these off and run a pedestrian facility right back here. And then we'll connect it up right there as well. Yeah, I think that works. I think that works out well. We could probably do with some pedestrian facilities through all of this. And we'll look at that at some point. But I want to get some zoning in here. So we'll do some commercial right back here. Just for some shopping opportunities. And then I think we'll do a little bit of high density for just some maybe nicer upscale apartments. That could be a nice thing to have back here. Go right there, and then that's it. And then we are going to bring our densities down. I think we'll leave this side of the road unzoned and just come through and leave some separation between each of the houses and just get this all zoned in real quick here. And I know that this area is already starting to fill in, but I think I'd like to use one of our themes on top of it. So we're gonna, actually we don't need that big. Elizabeth Park, I'm just gonna have a different name now. Just follow these roads around real quick here. There you go, and Birdsong Park. I kinda like that name. It's rare because I want to do, but it's rare that I get a name that I like for these because I want to do the organic and I want to do self-sufficient building. Birdsong Park, that kind of fits. Sounds very naturey, and I dig it. I wish there was a way to make an actual like gated community with a nice gated entrance. Maybe that'll be a thing in Cities Skylines too. I doubt it. It seems like a lot of us are really like, oh, Cities Skylines 1 doesn't do this thing. Maybe Cities Skylines 2 will. I doubt it. So now we're just going to watch this area fill in, and then we will wrap up and take a look at the bus lines one more time, and then move on and talk about what we're going to do next time. And it looks like this area is just going to take a while to fill in. Our demand isn't the highest right now. And because of that, we're not seeing the quickest growth. I mean, we have got quite a bit of our zoning filled in, especially over in that corner, but it's taking a while to get out over here. So instead of just waiting, I just want to check in on my buses here. It looks like we do have a bit of demand already in this area. The buses have unbunched, and there's 16 of them, but they're not keeping up already. So we're going to go ahead and go to a double-decker over here, and then I'm going to check the other line, which should be fine. We got a little bit of passing up still on that stop, which means probably some passing here. But like, there's our next bus coming through now. Do we get more than 74 people before that bus gets up there? I think this may be just kind of a thing that fluctuates back and forth, that, you know, for a while it's fine and then it's not and then it is, because usually everybody that's on the bus as they get to this stop tends to get off. So if we stay below 74 there, we should be okay, because then this bus won't have as many people to pick up. It should be able to get all of these people. In fact, this one can get nearly all of these people, so I think we're fine. I think we're looking good, and I think that is filling out this area nicely. One thing I did notice is that I was seeing a couple of garbage icons pop up every once in a while. And we also haven't checked utilities in a while. Like, our power is getting close. Heating is fine, but our water availability is getting low. We may have to build another little utility campus out over here, or maybe over here. I really would hate to use up this waterfront, though you can't really build a whole lot out this way just because of how far back our slopes go. And I don't want to bring that all the way up and have a steep cliff right by the ocean. I just don't think that's what I want. I think I'd rather just use our buildable area and just leave that as just, you know, ground. But we could maybe get a little campus in back here if we flatten just a bit of this and do maybe some garbage collection, possibly some water as well. Maybe we could just put a water tower in somewhere. That's always a possibility as well. Why don't we have any pollution? That's odd. We should have some pollution. I think it's the Game Anarchy mod. I think it defaults to that. Oh well. Anyways, I think we've done good work. We have filled out this area nicely. Obviously, we don't want to just go along the tracks. I think just getting the areas that were mostly flat is good enough. We didn't build over there because that's really a lot of terrain challenge over that direction. Plus, getting a road over to it would be rather difficult. And then the same thing here. There's a lot of things happening with the terrain that just don't justify it. So we're getting closer. Hopefully next time we should be able to start in on our tourism area over here. But until then, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.